And now it's time for Fabulous Film and Friends. Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome to the 5th annual year-end review here at the Triple F. We have a ginormous, star-studded show for you with an all-star panel consisting of a who's who of series regulars, Alex Robertson, Roseanne Caputi, David Johnson, Kendrick Wright, and all the way from El Paso, Joe Field. Welcome, everyone. Actually, Joe, where do you live now?
A much less auspicious town, Beeville.
All right. It doesn't have the same ring, right? All right, thanks for joining us. We're going to get right to it. So right off the bat, 2025 is the year that didn't make up for the doldrums of 2024 and the pandemic years. And so we saw a lot of hand-wringing and ruminating online and in the media about the end of cinema. So first questions first. Alex, is this the end of cinema as we know it?
Maybe the end of one type of cinema, I'm hoping. I'm hoping something rises from the ashes. And I don't know what it is, but there were movies that held out hope, okay? That's what you get from me.
Ken, you think this is the end of cinema?
Well, certainly not the end. The question is, like, where are the creative people gonna appear from? I do think there was one movie this year that did step up, and I was very surprised, and I was like, great. So we just need a little more of that coming along.
Joe, end of cinema?
No, I think that we have some things to hopefully look forward to in the future. I agree. I think that some things are starting to kind of die off, and people are questioning whether or not things that have been popular should continue to be popular. So I'm
like a rom-com, for example?
Actually, I was thinking, I don't know. I was thinking more about superhero movies in general, but
no, I think they're still going to be the big events of 2026.
I'm not saying they're going to be gone immediately. I'm saying there's going to be hopefully some changes, some shifts, hopefully, in direction.
Dave,
from what
thoughts?
I've seen.
Oh.
Sorry. Well, just jumping real fast. The funny thing is, I didn't see any of them, but I've seen 3 superhero movies on the top 10 lists. I'm like, what the hell?
Wow, those are from pretty lowbrow top 10 lists, I imagine. Dave, what do you think? End of cinema?
I think cinema is struggling. And when I say cinema, obviously movies released in the theater. I think the streaming devices, Netflix, the Stranger Things series was huge. I think they need to have more creative, better movies just to compete, because it's so much easier to watch them at home from your bed or couch or whatever than, let's go to the movie, even though I love going to the movies in that whole atmosphere. But I don't know, this, my family was into the Stranger Things series, and I was surprised. It was huge. And
the finale played in the theaters. Did you go?
I didn't go. We watched it at our house because we couldn't get tickets. They were sold out.
Wow.
So yeah.
Roseanne, thoughts? End of cinema?
Yeah, it's the end of cinema for me. So whether or not it is, like I have to just sit and watch the death rattle and that sort of thing, it seems like that is what's happening. But in terms of me, I used to go to the movies, like I would try to watch every Best Picture nominee and go see like 4 movies in a day, and all, that's completely dead and over for me. So yeah, they've made me like this cynic. So yeah, it is the end of cinema.
Well, I would kind of agree, except this year I just counted it up. I went to the movie 23 times. Now, of course, you can scoff and say, well, that's because you have a podcast and you get a very sizable tax deduction. But, but honestly, I like still going to the movies, even though, it's still a pastime for me. So I'm like, well, I think the movies suck, so it feels like I didn't see that many movies, but I saw probably more, or either more or the average. I'm sure I see about 20, 25 movies a year just going to the theaters. So
Yeah, but you're like a recovering alcoholic who's now just drinking like non-alcoholic beer. It's just a reflex. It's a habit. This year was the fucking O'Douls of cinema.
Well, fair enough. So that's the discussion. So I'm going to start off. So my intake's the same as it's been. And in 2025, I saw Captain America: Brave New World, a Minecraft movie, Novocaine, The Accountant 2, Sinners, Thunderbolts, The Materialists, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, 28 years later, F1, Superman, Fantastic Four: First Steps, The Phoenician Scheme, The Naked Gun, Weapons, Downton Abbey: The Grand Finale, One Battle After Another, Roofman, Predator: Badlands, The Running Man, The Smashing Machine, The Housemaid, and Marty Supreme. And I think I do have 5 movies that I liked in there. So number 1, The Phoenician Scheme. Number 2, The Naked Gun. Shock. I actually loved it. Number 3, Marty Supreme. Number 4, Sinners. And number 5, The Smashing Machine. Who wants to go next? Volunteers, who wants to go next with your list of movies that you've seen and the ones that you actually like? Doesn't have to be 5.
I'll go.
Go, Ken.
So I have a terrible memory, so I don't actually remember all the movies I saw. It's not a lot. Maybe I saw 6, 7. But I will. Number 1, I'll say Sinners. Number 2, I will say. Well, this is actually a little tough. I'm going to say The Phoenician Scheme. Number 3, I'm going to say F1. Are we doing 5 or are we doing 3?
Whatever. You got 5. List 5.
Well, I'll just like I say, I didn't see a lot, so almost all of them are in my top 5. I did see Thunderbolts. That's the superhero movie, right?
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Like, I'm not a big superhero movie fan. I don't go out and watch them all. I happened to see that one, and it had the right tone for me. It's like too many of the superhero movies are too grand or glossy or slick, and I liked that it was a down-tone movie. I enjoyed it.
Okay. Anyone? Who else? Who wants to go? Joe, lay it on me. Lay it on us.
Sure. Okay, so I didn't watch a ton, but I did watch Superman, Fantastic Four: First Steps, The Naked Gun, 28 Years Later, The Phoenician Scheme, Captain America: Brave New World, How to Train Your Dragon, and Mickey 17.
Wow.
Oh, I saw Mickey 17.
Yeah. So I would say that I don't. It's hard to say that I have a specific order, but I do think The Phoenician Scheme was a very fun and interesting movie that has some good rewatch value. So I would definitely put that up there. I also, in a very different way, but I also enjoyed Naked Gun. I for the first time watched the original like a month ago or so, and I enjoyed it for all of its ridiculous slapstick humor, and felt that the new one kind of held on to some of that pretty well, and also kind of continued with doing its own thing to some extent. So I enjoyed that. And I would say Fantastic Four. Not that Fantastic Four was a particularly great movie. However, I really appreciated the kind of direction that it was going in with regards to the sort of superhero flick. It's something that didn't feel like it was ashamed of kind of picking up on the 1960s original Fantastic Four type stories. And kind of wasn't, like I said, I mentioned this in the podcast before, didn't feel like it was ashamed of its source material. It wasn't trying to be something too different, or trying to divorce itself from that.
Let me just jump in real quick because I have to apologize to my voluminous fans out there. I sounded, when I did the podcast, I sound like I loved the film, and then I bought a copy of it, and I couldn't finish it. It just does not have any it's not the Phoenician Scheme. You don't watch it again and go, I forgot it. Or even I saw The Naked Gun twice. Second time through, I was laughing as hard as equally as hard as I did the first time. I just think it's a really funny movie. the Fantastic Four didn't hold up a second time. I was like, why did I spend the $17 on this crap? I was mad at myself for buying it. Like, I just fell into the Marvel trap. It's shiny, it's interesting, it's new, but a story's just not there. It's just not. That's all. I just have to tell everybody it's not a film I want to see again, and that's weird because I thought I did, but I actually don't.
I think that's mostly. I mean, I think that's mostly true for a lot of superhero movies, though. I think that honestly, I mean, maybe people are going to be very much in disagreement, but I think that in general they have a relatively low rewatch value unless it's been so long that you've forgotten many of the details.
But if you had never seen Fantastic Four, would you have wanted to see it once?
I don't understand your question, Ken.
Well, on rewatching, you weren't that into it, but the first time you saw it, you liked it. So, are you glad you saw it the one time?
Yeah, sure. It's a fine movie, but it's to me a top 5, top 10 movie is something you want to see again. Like Sinners, I'd want to see it again.
Yeah.
All right, enough of my yakking. Dave, what do you got? Oh, I'm sorry. Are you finished, Joe?
I'm done. Those are my top 3.
Dave, what do you got?
Okay, I'm going off memory. Phoenician Scheme, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, F1, Ballerina, Naked Gun. You'd see that. Freakier Friday, How to Train a Dragon, and I know there's a few others in there. Sorry, but my top one was Phoenician Scheme. Fantastic film. And surprisingly, I agreed with Dino. Naked Gun I burst out laughing so many times in that. I was surprised. I was a little worried. That's why I was hesitant to watch it. My third choice, except for the ending when Quentin Tarantino was 28 years later. That's my third choice.
Okay. Alex?
Yes. When we talked earlier, I said I saw 12 movies. I jumped the gun on that one because I was anticipating going to see Marty Supreme today. We had a little bit of a crisis in the household. My poor wife slipped and fell in the bathroom. She's okay, but it was touch and go. So I decided, no, we're not going to go out. So I saw 11 movies. And my list comes down to, I'm going to give you top 5.
No, I want to hear all 11. List the 11.
Oh, okay. Phoenician Scheme, Song Song Blue, Roofman, One Battle After Another, Naked Gun, She Rides Shotgun, The Accountant 2, F1, Sinners, Weapons, and Materialists. And so I'll give you my top 5 right now as it stands. Sinners, and this is not in any order right now, but Sinners, Naked Gun, Phoenician Scheme, Weapons, and I'm going to go with Materialist. Because, one of the things we're talking about is the hope for cinema, the future of cinema, are unique voices. And whether we agree with the material or whatever, I just thought the woman, somebody give her name,
Celine
Chang?
Song.
I'm sorry?
Celine Song.
Thank you. I would like to see more of her work.
Well, there's that other film. What's the other film, Roseanne?
Past Lives.
Past Lives. That's the
okay.
other film she did.
No, but yeah, I think the biggest surprise was Naked Gun. One of the most pleasant surprises because
I didn't ask that question yet. We're going to go around the panel.
Oh, well, I just thought I would jump the gun anyway and just ruin it for everybody. Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, that's it. So that's what you get.
All right, Roseanne.
Can you refer to me as Miss Spaghetti?
Yeah, sure. Miss Bozo eating spaghetti. Laugh every time.
Every time.
Bozo eating spaghetti.
Like I said before, I think my favorite movie this year is just Benicio del Toro because Phoenician Scheme was the only film that I saw that I thought was like thoroughly good. But also his performance in One Battle After Another made me think for a second that I liked that movie and then realized I didn't. So Phoenician Scheme, Materialists and Frankenstein would be my top 3.
Wow, nobody saw Frankenstein, but was
I
that straight to Netflix?
thought
Don't we have to strike that from the list?
How is that? Yes,
I
it
wrote
can have to-
specifically in my
His
instructions.
rules.
My rules are if it has to play in the theater. Otherwise,
Okay.
it's like a straight to video movie. Doesn't count.
Fine, then just Phoenician Scheme and Materialists.
Okay.
I saw more movies than that, but again, I can tell, like, Dave and I clearly have kids, so I saw The Karate Kid and, like, a lot of
Avatar,
dumb shit.
Fire and Ash.
Avatar.
Hey, I want to go
Superman.
around the room. Besides you, Roseanne, having to see it, who's seen, besides Roseanne, who watched Avatar, Fire and Ash? No one. Okay, show of hands. Who wanted to see Avatar, Fire and Ash?
Well, I still haven't heard anything about it. If somebody said that's a good movie, I'd love to go see it. But if they say it's a shitty movie, I'm not interested.
Okay, but based on Avatar
it's a
2,
movie.
do you want to see Avatar 3?
Based on Avatar 1, I would see Avatar 3. Based on Avatar 2,
No, forget
That would
Avatar
not be.
1. After Avatar 2, would you say, "Oh boy, I can't wait for Avatar 3"?
oh, no, I mean, I might wait till it is streaming or something.
Yeah, crap. No, I won't even see it with the library DVD. I just don't care. I absolutely don't care. Dave, do you care about Avatar, Fire and Ash?
Hell no.
Yeah.
I have no interest in watching
I
that.
feel like you guys aren't supporting gay cinema.
Joe, Avatar 3?
I watched the first one and felt no need to watch anything else. I
Alex?
didn't feel the need to watch the first
What?
one, but
I'm sorry. Did I hear my name?
Yeah, Alex. I'm sorry, Joe. Finish your thought since I interrupted you.
no, I was just saying I wasn't a huge fan of the first one, even when I was watching it. So no reason to watch anything beyond it.
All right. Well, here's just a question.
Well, I'm sorry. Can I just ask Roseanne, like, what do you think? Awful? Okay? Fair?
Yeah, like it's awful. Again, I don't even like the first Avatar. And so the third one at this point is just like mind-numbingly stupid. It was like I said, did you know it was like Matrix Revolutions compared to Matrix Reloaded, so it was mildly better than the second one, but still like garbage sauce. So it's not like it's what it should be is a silent. It should be like Fantasia. It should be a silent film where you just get to watch these like images flit across your, transom or whatever. And instead it's just bogged down by the just absolute Top Gun idiocy of James Cameron and his inability to tell stories, past 1988. So it was just awful.
Oh.
Anyway.
Alex, did you have any
Yeah.
desire to? Did you see the second one? Did you see the first one?
I saw both.
Yeah.
I saw the first two, and I was wowed by the first simply because of the 3D glasses.
Yeah.
Gone were the days of John Candy and Eugene Levy. But it was, you couldn't help but walk away feeling I've seen that story before, but it was an experience. And the second one was like, I think I go with Joe. It's like the first was enough. If he just would have stayed with the first, it would have been fine. There's your legacy. Move on, do other things. But how many more of these is he planning on coming out with?
Well,
Like
that's the question. See, so
Because this one is making movie, unfortunately.
well, okay,
it sounds like.
but that's the point I'm trying to get to. So, and Roseanne was sort of coerced by her son, which understandable. He wants to
Hey,
see
we've
he
all
wants
been
to see the
down that
visuals,
road.
sure. But the first one I legitimately wanted to see and actively went to the theater to see it. Right off the bat, like, oh, I got to see this. Second one, I did the same, thinking, well, Cameron's never let me down before, except at that point he'd done Terminator Dark Fate, so I was like, okay, he's swinging and missing. So I absolutely hated it. It was just, pound for pound, rehash, terrible, hated it. So I just thought, there's no way I want to watch another rehash. I read some reviews that say it's a rehash, so like, no, not going to see it. No way. So, but here's my point. All in this panel of all 6 of us, nobody really wanted to see it. So how the hell is it making $1 billion? Who out there is going, I can't wait to see a 3-hour rehash of the third rehash of a movie that's kind of boring to begin with? That's what I don't understand. How does this keep happening?
Well, I'll just
It's
throw
gonna
this out
be
there.
$1 million.
the very first one, like the visuals were pretty mind blowing, especially in the
Sure.
3D.
Sure.
I was blown away. So I think there could just be this hope that, okay, it's James Cameron, it's 2025. The visual aspect of the third one could, hypothetically, it could be really, really, really good.
But again,
just
I
as an
think
idea.
I think nostalgia has taken the place of storytelling, and it's just
Yeah.
so unbelievably irritating. And so that's, to me, what keeps people going. Just like automatons, or someone just like going towards the light of something they know. So that's superheroes, that's Avatar, that's every single film that's out there. That's why they've killed it for me, because I'm like, I don't want to just keep seeing this over and over, and yet it's all they're giving me.
Well, that is for sure. So this begs the question. Let's go around the room. What is the most original film you saw this year? Joe Field.
I mean, Phoenician Scheme. Like, I don't know. I'm not sure that I've seen a whole lot of... I certainly haven't seen any other movies this year that were like it. And I'm not sure that I've seen a whole lot of movies before it that were similar. In either tone or...
But you haven't seen a lot of Wes Anderson, as we discussed.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my exposure to Wes Anderson is pretty limited, but it was... I mean, still, I would say that, like, out of all the other movies that I've seen, it wasn't trying to be over... I don't know. It wasn't a copy of something else. It wasn't a remake of something, because there were also... I mean, Naked Gun and How to Train Your Dragon are both remakes, basically, of something, or... Yeah. And then you've got all the superhero movies that are all just continuations of the same kind of stuff also.
Yeah.
Or Superman's also a remake. Fantastic Four is also a remake, if you want to be super technical. But, I mean, it's kind of... Phoenician Scheme wasn't a remake of anything. It was its own thing. And it was its own full, contained self-story. There's not going to be another sequel for Phoenician Scheme that I would ever anticipate. And there doesn't need to be. There shouldn't be. You can have your own story, and you don't have to have a big continuation with a bunch of things that link into it and have an after-credit scene,
Especially, and I wonder, like, also endings of movies have become even more terrible than usual. That Phoenician Scheme had the best ending to a film.
Roseanne, you're gonna have to speak in your mic. You sound like you're wading through mud. Just repeat what you said. None of it came out. Did anybody hear what Roseanne said? No. You gotta repeat it, just so I can edit it.
Okay.
We were hanging on every
telling
word
me
too.
that I have low band. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm just saying that I think all these unoriginal bastard movies have ruined the ends of films almost entirely. And I thought Phoenician Scheme had one of the best ends of a film I've seen probably in years, where the end actually, puts the entire film into perspective, which again, almost never happens, because we're always just like, oh, and then there will be the other one, and then there's the other one, and then there's the other one, or whatever. Whereas Phoenician Scheme...
What about Sinners, though? Sinners was I'd say Sinners was probably the most original movie, but the ending sucked.
The ending's garbage. That's why, again, Sinners, can I understand why you like it? I saw Sinners in the theater 3 times, which is why I was busy not seeing other films. But I liked what Ryan Coogler was trying to go for, but the end is complete fucking garbage.
Yeah.
And I just thought childishly wrought. And I felt that way, again, unfortunately, about Materialist, the film, if you're going to talk about surprising, I was surprised by. And then the end was just the worst. And it ruined the tone, and there was just a whole heap of problems. And so that's why, again, Phoenician Scheme, even though I have watched a lot of Wes Anderson movies, so it's well in line with that, but I just think the end was just beautiful, and I think made it into its own piece of art. Separate from his other films, and certainly separate from any other film I saw this year.
I'd agree with that, for sure. I mean, we fortunately weren't there for the podcast, but yeah, absolutely, the ending was a bonanza. But so let's talk about Materialist for a second. Just all you lunkhead, sexist, chauvinist pigs who didn't see it, did you think it was a chick flick? Is that why you avoided it, Ken?
I have no opinion of it whatsoever. I don't. It has not penetrated my consciousness.
Do you know what we're even talking about? You know what movie we're talking about? It's a Dakota Johnson from Don Johnson and Melanie Griffith fame.
I like her. I do like her.
She's sort of the preview would make you believe she's in between crazy, bohemian Chris Evans and uptight, straight-laced Pedro Pascal. So
you know what? I saw it. I did see that.
You're ridiculous, Ken. Grotesque, Ken. So what'd you think of it?
I thought it was a fine middle of the road movie. I enjoyed, those characters. I do like Dakota Johnson. It was nothing special. As far as just basic entertainment.
Okay, I'm gonna
something special.
I'm gonna fight back on that, Ken. That it was a women-based film that wasn't cutesy and annoying and cloying and stupid. It was actually fairly intelligent. My problem with it is that it was she kind of got insecure at the end and then made it a chick flick, which is like, we were going on a pretty interesting film that dealt with the sort of what's the word of marriage, the bargaining quality, not bargaining, transactional
the
transactional quality of marriage, and then the idea that this can be dangerous to the point of a girl gets sexually assaulted because of one of her setup. It actually, when you say middle of the road, I mean, well, what middle of the road movie have you seen that's like this?
Well, I mean, I guess you're right that the theme is certainly trying to be more substantive than other like this. Almost seems like a rom-com to a degree, but it is more serious.
They marketed it like a rom-com.
Yeah, they market it like a rom-com, but the content is substantive. The things she's saying about human relationships is in no way middle of the road. And again, I'm sorry that no one saw Past Lives, which was her Korean, and I mean maybe you guys saw it, but it was really good, and she really does try to explore this. So middle of the road to me is something like a rom-com that's sometimes funny. This isn't a rom-com.
Ken, middle of the road is The Housemaid. Did you see The Housemaid? That is middle of the road. That is squarely in the middle of the road. Like, okay, I'm at the halfway point. I'm leaning over to my spoiler alerts to all of you beach readers who don't want to be surprised. I said, I wonder if it's the husband who's the killer. And my wife said, my wife turns to me and goes, how did you know? And I'm like, oh my God.
Well, again, no, I will say they didn't know how to market it. And so a lot of people didn't see it. And that I think is unfortunate. And then I understand though why they didn't know how to market it, because in the end they just get married anyway. So anyway, regardless of it was surprising. That's all I'm saying.
I'd say it was. I'd say it's a kind of contender for the most original film of the year, because it's we're talking about upscale white women in New York, and it's actually interesting. So I was like, oh, that's a shock. This movie's actually interesting. My problems with it were twofold. She's a theater director, and she seems like she's writing the polemic. I'm surprised you didn't love it, Ken, because it was all polemics, Well,
I know, and I did. I mean, I didn't mind that part of it. Like, I thought you would hate it because of the polemics, but to me, I'm like, yeah, this is. I'm on board with this. I didn't think it was like absolutely groundbreaking because it's not new to me. I enjoyed it being presented.
They had a lot of interesting scenes. It just sort of fell off. It just hit a wall and then dropped off the cliff because where did he go with it? Alex, you want to jump in there?
You know what? Okay, so if we're going to talk about polemics and dialectics and all that sort of stuff, that was one of the things that really drew me into the story early on. And I remember thinking, this woman has to have a background in like epic theater. And sure enough, she was a big fan of Bertolt Brecht. Mm-hmm. And that's what I really liked about that first part of the movie, where I don't want to say that everything was delivered in a robotic way, but with Brecht,
but it was
less emphasis.
It was like a black, like when
in a way it was not as obvious as the play that Chris Evans was in, which is exactly
when he's in the play. When Chris Evans is in the play, I turned to my wife. I said, "This hardly feels different than the movie."
Now the funny thing about that is there's I think a Harold Pinter one act which is exactly like that. A man and a wife sitting at a table aside from each other and just talking about really nothing in the Pinter version, it's like he's saying more practical things, and she's sort of dreaming of.
Are you sure that's not Beckett? Because they're
no. That was it's the same thing.
Because
but Pinter did
happiness, they're buried to their necks in sand and doing the same thing. So
now in the Pinter Police, they are literally sitting at a table. He's drinking a beer, and she's just sort of in this reverie of, "Gosh, I was so I don't know, but." I like that. I just felt that they started losing that, especially when you got to the really serious, when they mention the sexual assault. I mean, my wife and I were watching it together, and she gasped. And it's like, it was. I mean, in the midst of all this, poetry and whatnot, this awful, terrible act rears its ugly head. Then I thought that the movie started to veer more toward melodrama. When she tries to confront the Sophie character, I don't know. I felt like they dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah, I did too. I thought that it was not. I mean, watching it, and I don't quite recall what my reaction was specifically, but I remember thinking that, like, if I was these people, I would do it differently. Like, you're kind of constructing this problem. Well, obviously, the assault is a big deal, but the way they address it, I'm like, I would do it differently, and it would be much more simple and easily, you wouldn't have this great angst over it. You get to the bottom of it and move on.
Well,
I mean,
she has
obviously
she has angst over it. To me, I think it made a lot of sense that she wanted to talk to her. She's always in like hyper conversation with every one of her clients. And so that's just how she reacts to these people. So her wanting to talk to her. I like the fact that a big thing about this movie too is not just men and women. It is about rich and poor, and it's one of the few films about dating that really talks about if you're wealthy, you have a better chance of ending up with someone that doesn't suck. And again, that line of "you're not ugly, you're just poor." I think that hasn't been said in any movie. Anyway,
I don't think I agree, and I don't
know if it's melodrama. I felt like the assault stuff went along with her character. I felt like towards the end, as she gets with Chris Evans, that's when it sort of
when they kiss in the barn, the movie's over. When I paused because I was getting tired of it. And then I pause it and I go, oh, crap, we got a half an hour left. I'm like, what is there more to say?
Well, see, I think it's probably the problem with Sinners. You have these false endings. It could have ended in a better way. I loved, when they crash the wedding and they have that kiss and he walks off. Yeah. Because it did, there is that disparity between rich and poor. What is this all about? And I love the fact that you don't despise Dakota Johnson. I don't know if you said she's anal in some way or just the way she is. I don't know. Roseanne
she's very analytical.
Well, yes. Well, the other kind of.
Yeah, I bet. I was like, Ken.
That I said that.
I'm surprised you don't have your materialist poster on your wall. It was like the analytical movie.
You had to admire the way she has all of her ducks in a row. It's got to be this way and this way and this way. There's, even though there's always a little bit of room for deviation, but, again, it was. I don't think I've ever seen a movie like that.
Yeah, I'd say it was original. It didn't seem like, seems like you're like I thought it was turning the whole chick flick thing on its ear, the whole Sex and the City thing on its ear, and I thought, this is pretty good until it ran out of gas. That's
or that point where you're like, at some point Jack Black or Jude Law are going to walk in the door. Forget about it. But no,
Anyway, we're poor Dave and Joe. So enough. So Materialist. Okay, to our listeners out there, Materialist is worth seeing. It was just disappointing. I felt.
Well, like a lot.
Okay, and I'll just revise mine. Like, not middle of the road as in mediocre. It was good. I enjoyed it. Just not. It's not elevated to
literally what middle of the road means, Ken. That's confusing.
You need to see The Housemaids, Ken, to understand what middle of the road means.
It's that meaty part of the middle of the road that's got the nice view with the little trellis garden and all that.
All right, getting back so we can all talk. Let's just consensus around the panel as fast as we can. Alex, best movie of the year.
Phoenician Scheme.
Ken, best movie of the year.
Phoenician Scheme. No, Sinners.
Dave, best movie of the year.
Phoenician Scheme.
Joe, best movie of the year.
Phoenician Scheme.
Roseanne.
Phoenician Scheme.
And I'm at Phoenician Scheme. So this is just a inbred podcast because nobody is saying Phoenician Scheme is the best. Have you even read any lists? Is Phoenician Scheme the number one movie of the year?
No.
What is?
No.
New York. Okay, so New York film critics circle, whatever the hell they're called, they listed One Battle After Another.
Everyone.
Which leads me to what is the biggest disappointment of the year? Alex.
One battle after another.
Ken, biggest disappointment.
I didn't see enough movies to be super disappointed. I actually enjoyed One Battle After Another. It wasn't great, but I enjoyed it.
Dave, biggest disappointment.
For me, personally,
Mission
Impossible. Yeah, definitely.
Wait a minute. We've done podcast after podcast about how lame those movies are.
Okay, let me pick another one. Okay, Ballerina.
Oh, okay.
Even though Anna de Armas is in it.
Yeah, well, that would be disappointing.
Yeah.
My biggest disappointment of the year outside of the screen is her dating Tom Cruise. It's like, oh my god. I thought I liked this woman.
Real?
Yeah, they were dating. That says everything about her.
That just ruins it even more.
Yeah. Joe, best movie of the year or biggest disappointment?
No.
Biggest disappointment.
Superman.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Roseanne?
Definitely One Battle After Another.
And I'm again, boy, we're just birds of a feather. One battle after another. And it's disappointing because Paul Thomas, Ken, just so we have to explain this to you, he's made such great movies. It's just a shock to see.
Yeah.
Like he no doubt about it. Benicio del Toro, lots of great stuff in it. But just lazy filmmaking and storytelling, especially with Sean Penn. But if you heard our podcast, we go in deep. It's so lazy, where he's so cunning and yet he falls for the white supremacist, burning him alive at the end. It's like, it's just stupid. Just lame.
I have to say, though, too, Sinners. Actually, Sinners was a really big disappointment to me as well.
Well, that's your number two disappointment.
Yeah.
Was it your number one? Have you changed you've changed?
In terms of what I was looking forward to, then I would have to say Sinners. I would say Sinners was the bigger disappointment just because I wanted it to be fucking hardcore, man. I really did. And it wasn't.
Well,
I wanted him to make up for having made Black Panther, and I wanted this to be it. And I didn't feel that.
Okay.
I felt like the same filmmaker who made Black Panther made this, which was a bummer.
Well, I thought I was watching a movie about two brothers starting a speakeasy, and I was down for it. I'm like,
well, I'd imagine by the time you got to the end of it, you were like, this is awesome. I get that.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Worst movie of the year. Joe Field.
Worst movie of the year. Of the ones that I saw, I would probably say How to Train Your Dragon.
Well, that's your fault for going.
It is. I mean, it really is.
Again, let me just start a 1 minute rant. Why does anybody go to the first time I saw one of those live action remakes, I'm like, why the hell did I go to this? This is so stupid. It's just, to me, it's no different than going to see Snow White or whatever, Ice Capades or something. Like, what do you expect? It's a reenactment of a cartoon. So I know. But Joe, curiosity, why were you like, hey, maybe this will be good?
Oh, I wasn't. I was invited by other people, and I was like, okay, I guess I should try to be social occasionally.
Okay,
so,
fair enough. But did you ever see The Jungle Book? I remember I went to The Jungle Book. Like, why did I watch this? This is just a...
No, I on a principle level, I hate remakes of things. Yeah. Especially the whole it was animated, so what's the live action gonna be?
Yeah.
It's like, no. the animated was its own feature, and if it did well, you don't need to remake it.
Right.
Like,
Because it's
remake
animated.
the ones that are.
It
I mean,
lives
try remaking
forever.
something that was
Yeah.
It's a movie all on its own. It's not like, oh, now here's the real version of this.
Right. No.
You know, it also, I feel like, disrespects like animation as its own sort of genre and art form and everything else, saying like, oh, well, the real version, you know, the live action one, that's the important
when
one.
you look at
when it's really just a crash.
When
grab.
I saw How to Train Your Dragon the preview,
No.
I went, I can barely tell the difference between the two. I mean, honestly,
it's identical.
It's like,
It's
but
like
in terms
the
of
basic.
and not even forget the plot. I'm just talking about the look. It looks exactly the
Yeah.
same. Like, what's the
Yeah.
difference? The kid still looks fake. The real kid actor still looks like he's a CG cartoon. You know, I'm like, there's no way. So anyway, that's kind of
No.
that and Karate Kid. So the kind of like, no way I'm going. Avatar. I'm just not going to How to Train Your Dragon. Sorry. Moving on. Sorry, Joe. Roseanne, what's the biggest disappointment? Wait, what are we on? No, worst.
Worst.
Roseanne, what's the worst film of the year?
Or Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
He's,
No?
the two of you are coming up with the obvious. Anything juicy? Anything like surprising?
What do you mean? Like,
Okay, so
again,
I'm gonna go
in
next.
a world of films that weren't that good.
I'm gonna go next and get controversial. The
What?
worst film, not only of the year but of the decade,
Oh, here we
is
go.
Downton Abbey: The Grand Finale. It is so.
That's so controversial.
freaking
I hope the fans
stupid.
come after you. I hope they finally do.
No, what Ken would call middle of the road, I'd find insultingly stupid. Just like this is what people want in movies. Just tired homespun adages and just the worst sort of pontificating and smarmy moralizing. You just couldn't. I just couldn't believe it. It was like my wife's like, oh, you want to go to this movie? I really want to see this movie, and I'm like, fine. Thought I needed an editing break the whole time. I'm looking at my watch and scoffing and groaning. And Nina's like, I'm never going to a movie with you again. But and it's so cheesy. There's no conflict. There's no conflict in it. Nothing happens.
I was going to ask, what's the plot?
Great question. There's
Why?
a confidence man, and he's out to get money from the Downton Abbey crew. And our girl Michelle Dockery sleeps with this played by Alessandro Nivola, who's, you know, that's like Jerome Crabbe. When you cast him, you're like, okay, obviously he's gonna be the sleazy confidence man, you know. So when she sleeps with him, it's like, this is so predictable. He's gonna take her money. And then it's okay. You think the family's gonna get together and figure it out? No, they're at a racetrack, and some random schmo extra 101 goes, "Sir, that man is a confidence man." And then they're like, oh my word, he's a confidence man. And so Michelle Dockery goes up to Alessandro Nivola and goes, I hope you think you're victims when you I hope you remember your victims when you think of this. And the cuts to him like he goes, like it's the worst movie. And then poor
You're telling me Mission Impossible is better.
yes.
Like resoundingly better.
What? It's okay. They're of a type, sure.
Again, these are tropes. These are preferences. I just loathe this idea of just like bird brain mall gays and women. You know. It's just,
Okay, but Mission
Mission
Impossible is
Impossible
Mission
is-
Impossible is for popcorn stuffing chumps who love football. Fine,
Right.
fine. And there's no
Don't
quality
act
in
like
either.
one is better than the other. Both are reprehensible.
Well,
I'm just saying.
I don't know. Maybe because I'm a guy, I can handle Mission Impossible.
Do
That
equally
Mission
much
Impossible, I'm
damage to
laughing
your
at.
frontal lobe.
I'm laughing with and at Mission Impossible. Downton Abbey, I just wanted to leave. I'm like, this is horrifying. This is so bad.
Well, but you put your finger on it. You said, maybe because I'm a man, I can deal with Mission Impossible. Well, if you're a woman, maybe you could deal with Downton Abbey.
Yeah, but they
Well,
love
I'm a
it.
woman and I can deal with Mission Impossible.
Okay, but Mission.
Well, no, I'm saying Gino thinks it's utter garbage. I'm saying if he came from a different
Well, no,
perspective,
but
it may
okay,
not
fine.
be so
Mission
bad.
Impossible. Mission
Anything
Impossible is
that's utter
just
garbage
as,
must
Mission
be
Impossible is
about
just
uterus.
as dumb for sure. It's
Okay.
just as dumb. Fine.
Okay. That's all I want. That's all I want. Thank you.
Alex, worst movie of the year.
The Accountant 2.
Oh my
Man,
god.
that's almost
I
like
keep
no
forgetting that was
contest.
a thing.
I know. I think it did too.
Yeah.
I think it forgot the first movie. I mean, the first movie wasn't great, but it had something. But then it becomes like a stupid buddy movie, like this weird buddy movie. And you got rid of Anna Kendrick, who was a very interesting part of the first film. She brought this dynamic, and now it's,
Well, it's
gosh,
like
gee,
Magic
George.
Mike. Accountant
never
2 is
seen
like
any of
Magic
those.
Mike
I've never seen any of
XXL or
those,
whatever.
so-
It's everything you thought the first shit. Like the first movie's surprisingly watchable. Like I saw The Accountant, went, oh, that was okay. That wasn't the worst.
Yeah.
That's middle of the road, Ken. It's a fine middle of the road little pot boiler.
Mad little movie.
But the sequel is just irritating. It's just okay. Now they think they've got some sort of thing going with John Bernthal and Ben Affleck, and they just didn't.
It just doesn't work.
No.
I mean, it just doesn't work.
It's terrible.
Well, anyway,
Ken, worst movie of the year? Do you remember the worst movie of the year?
Well, like I say, I have to bow out. I didn't see enough to like the movies I saw. I either liked or thought were mediocre. There was none that I thought were terrible.
So there's no worst movie.
Gotta have.
Yeah, I mean, maybe somebody like if you went through your list again, maybe I'd pick one up. But from my brain, I can't pick one.
F1.
F1?
That would have been my. F1
No,
was
I
the
enjoyed
biggest
F1.
meh. That was the biggest meh
No.
for me. I know, but I was waiting for Tom Cruise to show up in that movie. I mean, it's like Brad
it's
Pitt walking down the
formulaic. Formulaic
tarmac.
for
It's
sure.
like, oh yeah, but it was just I don't know. And that
Literally
whole
in the
ending-
title, right?
Yes, pretty much.
Dave Johnson, worst.
So as bad as How to Train Your Dragon was, I would have to say Freakier Friday takes it for me.
I didn't know they made a sequel. I guess they did, huh?
I
I believe
mean,
they released
With
it
the
in a
original?
what's that?
With the original, with Lindsay Lohan?
Yeah, and what's her name?
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee
Jamie Lee
Curtis.
Yeah. And I
Wait,
asked my wife if she wanted to go to Downton Abbey because she loves British accents.
Yeah.
And she said no, so I dodged a bullet on that one.
Well, it's a
I would've gone.
cornballer.
I would've
It's
gone.
corny.
But she didn't want to go. So we went to Freakier Friday instead. I think they were out this close to the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not that great.
Well, okay, so I want to bring up there's some controversy here because, and I'm sorry to leave those of you who didn't see Weapons, but Weapons was really touted as this new master of horror.
Worst movie of the year. Weapons.
Okay, see, that's a controversial take because most people, it has a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Ooh,
It
good
made
heavens.
300 million worldwide. It's a big hit. And the script caused a bidding war for the budget of the film. So the director got $38 million to make that film, which is why he had all these stars and all these thankless parts. Justin Long, what happened, baby? Justin Long was schmo number 5. I couldn't believe it. He didn't even get top billing. He got like a little name in the credits. Like, the hell happened to Justin Long? It was sad, But anyway, he lined his cast with top stars, and I just thought it was okay. It was an hour and a half of some of the most creepy, well lit filmmaking I've ever seen, and then it just revealed its plot and jumped off a cliff. So I don't think it was the worst, but I didn't like it.
I would say that it was very interesting, like a setup, like eerie, like what's going to happen, and then interminably dull, and then jumped off a cliff.
I didn't think it was dull. Anyway, Alex, what do you think, sir? You liked it.
I did. Look, I liked it for this year's crop of movies. Is it the greatest? No. But I think, what's his name, Zach Krager?
Yeah.
I think so. I think he's somebody I'd be curious to see what he can do down the road. If he can, if he can square the deal and finish the sale, as you would say.
He finished the sale to the tune of $38 million.
Yes, he did. I like money too.
And that's $38 million about a movie in a town with a couple roads.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But I do like the setup. I mean, it was genuinely the way it was paced, and there was just that sense of dread throughout. And there were some heavy-handed moments. I'm sorry?
The first half hour I enjoyed. Like I was waiting. Like I'm waiting. Oh, this is
Well, there
what's
definitely
gonna happen?
is
What's
that.
gonna happen?
Yeah,
But then after like a half hour, I'm like, well, nothing's happening. And then they finally go into the house, and I'm like, well, I'm no longer in suspense. Now I'm just like, what the hell?
That's a good point.
Well, once they reveal Amy Madigan as... Sorry, folks, those of you who are going to get spoiled on this.
Well, it's been out long enough. They should know by now.
She's a witch, and that's it. Like, what? Witch? That's your gag?
I literally... and she's the aunt, right? With the aunt that came to visit or something.
Yeah.
So I got to that. I got to that reveal of her, and I literally just turned it off. I just couldn't. I couldn't.
Wait, you didn't finish it?
I didn't.
Oh, well,
Wow.
boo to you, Ken.
I
mean, hell, I finished The Accountant too, and I
through.
didn't walk out of Downton Abbey. You need to finish these movies. So,
that's a
In
tall
fact,
order
that's
for some
that's probably
people.
the first movie I didn't finish. I probably may have not finished 3 movies in my life, and that was one of them.
well, again, then it goes crazy, and then all the possessed kids just start smashing the shit out of the whole neighborhood, and then you think, okay, this is just getting into comedy now. And then I read, well, it's a satire. It's a satire of the whole missing children genre. And I'm like, well, okay, but whatever. You had a mood and you broke it. And I can respect that because I've long wanted to do it. But if you're going to do it for real. If you're going to break that mood, just go crazy with it. Because I just thought,
Well, I mean,
what
and
is
that-
going on at this?
Well, that's kind of the problem is once the aunt came and then she's a witch, then it's like anything is possible. Anything,
Right,
you
there's
throw
no
anything at the
conspiracy.
wall, and
again, I could live with a coven of witches. I could live with the politicians are a coven of witches. I could live with some sort of global conspiracy because it felt like it. Like, ooh, where'd these kids go? How come nobody's doing anything to find them? And then you find out it's just like, oh, that's just because everybody's stupid. Oh, okay, so they can't find the kids because they're morons. Oh, fine, great, okay. So that's all. It's so Dave, Joe, sorry to leave you out. Roseanne, sorry to leave you out. I just had to get it out there because it was such a new voice in horror. And like, what?
Yeah.
Highest bidded horror script in years. Like all the studios are bidding for this script. I'm like, oh my God, this is where Roseanne, it is the end of cinema. If this script about a witch, played by Amy Madigan of all people, is the film, Anyway. Okay, so last question. We're almost done, folks. What are you most looking forward to in 2026? Joe Field.
Honestly, I haven't really looked into the,
Say it.
into
Just
any
say
of
it.
the movies
Avengers.
from 2026.
Say Avengers Doomsday. Just say it.
But I'm not looking forward to that. Ever since they mentioned Robert Downey Jr., I'm like, oh, okay, they're just going for nostalgia again. Like they're trying to replace all the mistakes that they've made with trying to go in new directions with things like Quantumania, which again was horrible. And just being like, oh, well, in that case, our best option is to not do something different, is to do exactly the same thing we have been doing, which means rehiring Robert Downey Jr. And it's like, okay,
I gotta say that
you are out of ideas.
Did you see that trailer with Chris Evans? I gotta say that was a disappointment.
I haven't seen any of the trailers. I haven't cared enough.
He's
to do
back. Shh! Surprise! Surprise! Though I gotta say the material. Getting back to the Materialist, which is funny because I've seen 2 films with Chris Evans. Where he was in. There's one called London. And the other one's called Before We Go. He directed a movie called Before You Go with Alice Eve from Star Trek. Star Trek Into Darkness. He did this movie where he and Alice Eve walk around New York talking about relationships the whole time. And then this movie London is him and Jason Statham in a bathroom at a party talking about a girl for 2 hours. So he likes these movies where people talk relationships. It's like Roger Rabbit and shaving a haircut. He's wow, this is the best. The Materialist is the film I've always wanted to do. A film where I get to talk about relationships. So it's like he's drawn to these babies, but they don't make any money. So there he is back in Captain America. So I just thought, lame. He died. Let him die. I mean, that's just lame. Okay, Falcon was a big bomb. Fine. Or Captain America: Brave New World. And again, we didn't talk about it because it's not what we're talking about. But it wasn't the worst of the films. People are just mad about it. Like it was fine. And honestly, Joe and I talked about it. Captain America: Brave New World was about as good as any other. There were things we liked about it. It just was an underwhelming action movie for sure, but it was fine. But they just because they hyped up Captain America's replacement too much. Just let it die. That's what I say. So I'm seeing Chris Evans. I was like, wow, they got nowhere to go. So it's rehash city. So revive them. Anyway, Dave Johnson, what are you looking most forward to?
I haven't looked 2026, but 2027, I'm ready for the new Batman too. So
I was asking about that. So it's not coming out this year.
2027.
2027. That was my
baby
favorite Batman of all time. Speaking of superheroes.
Yeah. Well, nothing in 2026.
I don't even know. Avengers. I can't wait. I haven't even looked that far out. But yeah.
Well, Ken, have you looked at the current crop of movies coming that'll keep this whole industry alive? Well, there's of the Marvel crop. There's Spider-Man and there's the Avengers. And me being a lifelong Spider-Man fan, I'll probably see that in the theaters. I don't know about Avengers.
Do you expect it to be good?
I don't know.
Do you expect it to be good?
I don't know. It's here's the thing about Marvel. They go, we're gonna go back to a street level movie with Spider-Man and just the Kingpin and like the street level villains. I'm like, oh, good. And then you find out the Hulk's in it, and like, okay, forget it. They can't resist. Anyway,
Speaking of the Hulk and Marvel, I'm looking forward to Wuthering Heights in February.
Yeah, well, I'm definitely curious about that one. It's I suppose we'll have to do the ultimate Wuthering Heights smackdown on that one. There, I said it here, so I have to hold to it. Yeah, we'll do a Wuthering Heights smackdown. All the great Wuthering Heights.
Yeah, but we can't do that.
Why?
Again, we've talked about this because the best Wuthering Heights is TV.
Well, we'll make an exception.
All
right, Alex. Anything?
The Bride.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Yeah, and I mean, come on, you got Jessie Buckley. I got to think of Jessie Buckley. There's something about I'm surprised she's not further along, but she's putting in a good body of work. And I'm curious. I don't know if Hamnet counts because it was released in 2025, but it's getting its major release in 2026.
Is that an Oscar contender, by the way?
I don't know. Maybe that's what they're trying to do. And I guess if there's one other movie, Werewolf, Robert Edgers, I'm hoping he can do something.
Yeah.
But not until Christmas Day.
Uh-huh.
And Folkers 4. Not.
What is it?
Never. The Folkers.
Oh.
Meet the Parents.
Oh, really?
The fourth.
They're doing a fourth one?
They're going for it, baby.
De Niro, huh?
And you said... And the question of the cinema dead. Come on.
Yeah, you are wrong.
But getting back to that topic, I just think it's just create the interest in films we want to see, right? Okay, so is art house cinema dead? Are documentaries dead? Yeah, probably. Why are you going to pay to see a documentary in the theater when you can get it at home? So I think that's probably the death of documentaries for sure. But I don't think
but because you can get them at home, documentaries are very, very strong. You just get them at home and not in the cinema, but they're very strong.
That's what I mean. Theatrical viewing of documentaries.
First of all, documentaries I think has stayed the same most of the the time. Like most of the
No, I know,
documentaries.
like
Yeah, no way.
even
Like
film
most of the documentaries
Roseanne,
I saw on PBS.
Roseanne, I work in this industry. The film festivals, they're just not. It's just not the same. They don't even play. They just have them on streaming now. You know, even in the film festival
Okay.
world, they just stream documentaries for people to judge. They don't even have a theatrical viewing of
Okay.
a lot of them. So
Fine.
it's not the same. I mean, it has to be like a big ticket, you know, the Paul Rubens or something big in order to get a theatrical. You know, it's like the Broadway Rocky musicals. They're just in order to get the butts and seats, it has to be sort of like this populist thing. So I know documentary viewing has gone down, and obviously dramas and comedies are going to go down and that's a disappointing thing about Naked Gun. It wasn't a very big hit, you know, and I didn't see it in the theaters.
Cool.
I didn't see it in the theaters because I didn't think it was going to be any good. So I was just like, I'm not going to pay to see that. And then lo and behold, I'm cracking up. So, you know, that's the thing. I just think theaters are probably going to be just event movies. But make the event movies better. You know? If you're only going to do one movie and you're going to spend $300 million on it, can't you just really work on the script where it's not crap? You know?
I don't think that's the way it's headed.
Well, again, Marty Supreme, we didn't talk much about it, but I liked Marty Supreme a lot. But the problem is the Safdie brothers make things so exhausting and unrelentingly unpleasant that I couldn't just say I enjoyed it. I walked out feeling like I just survived a car crash. But it's all really good. It's just they have this sort of pressure cooker like writing and directing style where you're just like, jeez, you sort of hate the character in a way, but they're great filmmakers and they're good writers. But they just have a way of making things so unrelenting. Like in this movie, it just got a little unpleasant for me. Not that it was bad. That was the point of it. I just was like, did I enjoy it? I don't know. I don't know. I think, so that's all. But it's great. They're great writers. Now, Smashing Machine, I didn't say anything about that. Real quick, it just seemed the other Safdie brothers. So Josh Safdie did Marty Supreme, and then Ben Safdie did The Smashing Machine, and that was good, but that was like just their standard biopic. Well done, good acting. It's shot like it's on like 90s video cameras, so it looked like the whole time it looked like, the WWF or something. It just had this very 90s video look to it, which I thought was cool.
So what you're saying, though, with the Safdie brothers, by your discussion of the Safdie brothers, is that, yes, there are some sort of signs of life in cinema?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're saying like,
Miguel.
You're saying like event movies, 300 million should be better, and then you're talking about the Safdie brothers. Do those films not belong in theaters then? I mean,
I think they do.
Okay.
But but they don't find their audience. Like Smashing, I don't think the Smashing Machine found its audience. It'll probably find its audience on video or on streaming. Because it is a good movie, but it's not. I don't think it's an amazing movie. Marty Supreme, that's different. That is sort of a big budget extravaganza in terms of a cinema. It is a good, great looking film, and it's just a little unrelenting. That's all. Anyway, yeah, that's my point. Is it's going to take really great filmmakers to fill those seats. Anyway, everybody's thoroughly bored by this. So
well, thank goodness for Christopher Nolan then.
Oh, that's it. That's right. The Odyssey.
Oh,
I'm
that is
looking
right.
forward to that.
Oh.
Roseanne,
I am looking forward to that. Yeah.
Say what you will about Christopher Nolan. This looks like a big epic movie. I'm curious about
I
it.
will say, whatever I feel about Christopher Nolan,
Yeah.
I'm certain I will be right, and that it will be stupid.
Okay. Whatever it's stupid or not, it looks interesting. Just like Oppenheimer looked interesting. I just didn't like it. But I'm kind of like, yeah. I say what you will about Christopher Nolan. This looks like an interesting film. At least something I want to see.
Well, it does feel like what this podcast is saying tonight is that if it's like epic, we'll see it in theaters.
Yeah.
But then Weapons isn't saying that. So it's difficult trying to find a common thread with films that are hits and films that aren't, especially Marvel isn't working anymore. So say you're not me and you don't think cinema is dead, then it is difficult to find the common denominator of what is keeping it alive. And maybe we're too old to tell. I don't know.
Well, again, looking at my son, Dante, just watching Naked Gun, arms folded, didn't laugh once. Just like, what is this I'm watching? It's just not the Gen Z and Gen Alpha. They're just not interested in film. he had no reference for any of the jokes, and he didn't like it, and he just doesn't like movies. He likes movies, but they don't like going to the theater as much as we do. You know, they've got other interests.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's true.
But so they only like stupid shit like Spider-Man and everything. And well, again, I like it too. So who am I to judge them? But I'm just saying that's when they'll go to the theater. Like they all went to all my kids went to Five Nights at Freddy's too. They all went to see it.
Okay, so who made Weapons the hit that it was?
Horror fans, and we all know horror fans love everything. You know?
Okay, so just like horror fans encompassing Gen X, Millennials, and Gen Z?
I think so. I think people just love horror across the board.
Okay, so you could also say that, but people don't like comedies, because if we're thinking about it, okay, Naked Gun should have been a hit, but what comedies were big hits in 2025? I'm just trying, again, I'm trying to find the pattern.
There is no pattern. It's just the box office is down. But look, Brave New World wasn't a hit. Fantastic Four wasn't a hit. Superman, they're calling it a hit, but it wasn't a hit. It broke even. It made a little bit, but it wasn't a giant hit. So
well, I'll say that Sinners was
that was a big hit.
What's my point? Yeah, exactly. But original movie, not a blockbuster, an interesting original movie that caught fire with an audience. And so that gives me a little bit of hope that directors will see that. Like, hey, if I bring something new and different, there's still an audience for it. And the thing is, there's very little that's new and different, and so we're all a little bored.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Any last words, Alex?
No.
Good talk.
Alrighty.
Glad we talked.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you for listening to Fabulous Film and Friends. Copyright 2026, a Bel Air Films production.